Hello, sixth graders! It is Monday, March 8th, 2020, and it actually is Monday, March 8th, 2020, as opposed to all the other videos where it said the wrong date. Guys, guess what? Today we got a virtual lab on human impact. Pretty exciting stuff. We want to go to HMH. Actually, pause. You do not want to go to HMH. I'm going to go to HMH in your place. I'm going to do this lab. You get to watch it, and then you get to answer the questions on this next slide. Okay, but we need to get rid of some things here because I want to ask big questions, and things are in my way. Okay, post a screenshot? No, you don't need to do that. Okay, so we're going to throw down some questions here. So let's get ourselves a nice box. Put some questions into. Oh, perfect. Look at that. It's a box. Truly and completely a box. I know you're really excited about this. All right, I'm going to go here, and up. Okay, great. Questions about human impact lab. Okay, as I go along, we will stop once in a while for a question, and then we'll put down an answer. And yeah, if you watch this video, you'll know what to do. Okay, let's go back to that lab. Okay, so if I click on the link, it actually takes me over here. One moment. I was doing something pretty silly. Instead of clicking on the link, I don't know where I clicked. Click the tab over. Okay, let's click on the link. Let's find out what's going on. All right, bam, lab, great, human impact. So we're learning about human impact. So right away, I'm thinking about how have humans impacted the environment. Let's get a little start button. I'm going for it.
Welcome to the lesson, Human Impact. In this lesson, you'll explore different ways that humans affect Earth's resources and ecosystems.
All right, I had to pause that really fast and restart it because I realized right down here, this is 1 of 10. So now you know how far along I am in this lab. And you all are in watching it. Put that down there. Right. Welcome to the lesson, Human Impact. Okay, they said that already. Let's go.
Earth's human population increases every year. More babies are born, and people are living longer. This graph shows the human population over the past 200 years. Predict how the human population will grow by the year 2025. Click the dot on the graph, and then click OK.
Okay, so at once, we see that there's more and more humans every year. That's what it's saying. At whatever time, 1800s, oh, it's probably 1900s. Anyways, there was 1 billion people, 1 billion humans, and then it just increased. By the 1950s, when my dad was born, there was apparently between 2 and 3 billion people, probably like 2.75, so 2.75 billion people. And then by the time I was born in 1990, 1992, there was around just under 6 billion people. He wants to know A, B, or C. I'm gonna press B because it looks like that's where the line going, but it could go up astronomically and go up at A. I'm gonna press B and click OK.
That's right. If the population continues to grow at the same rate it's growing today, the population will reach 8 billion by 2025. In this lesson, you'll explore how this growing population affects Earth's ecosystems.
All right, so right now in 2021, there's over 7 billion people. I should look up the exact number, but I'm not going to. Instead, we're going to go back for a question. Question numero uno. We want to know how many, why was that so bad? 1. How many people will there, humans will there be by 2025? Most likely. All right, and you are going to answer in the red over here. Throw down some red like this. Bam, and you're going to say 8 billion. So you got your billions, your trying to go backwards here. Millions, and then your thousands, and then your hundreds, and then your tens and your 0. So those are place value, 8 followed by 9 zeros. is our 8 billion, hundreds, thousands, millions, billions. Yeah. Okay. How to make sure. 8 billion people. 8 billion humans. Okay. So that is your first answer in the red there. I'm going to erase it before I send it to you. So watch the video and pay attention to the lab. And that was something else. Okay. What will the population be in 2025? Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Let's keep going.
As the human population grows, it uses more and more of Earth's natural resources, like water, plants, and minerals. Human activities also affect Earth's land and air. Click the pictures to learn more.
Okay, I see that we should have probably about 7 pictures here. I'm going to explore some of them, and we'll ask questions. Urbanization. Okay.
Today, more than half the people on Earth live in urban areas or cities. As urbanization continues, or cities grow, demand for resources increases.
All right, 2. What percent of the population live in urban areas? Question mark. And they said, I should put this in black so that we can differentiate. They said more than half or more than 50%. Okay, great. Actually, yeah.
To make room for growing communities, natural habitats like forests may be destroyed. Trees are also removed to reach coal for fuel and provide wood for building materials and paper. This deforestation is destroying the habitat for many organisms.
All right, so we got deforestation. Has to be removed so that there's more area to live in.
Humans need water to survive, but Earth's supply of fresh, clean water is limited. Since ancient times, people have found ways to collect and redirect the flow of water. But taking water from one place can have an impact on another.
And that's really what this whole lesson is about. It's about using the resources that we have here on Earth wisely. I think that in my view, there's more than enough resources to go around. We need to be wise about it. So that's why it's important to study human impact on the environment and important to think about this in our day-to-day lives. All right, but let's go back and ask a question. I actually forgot what he said because I was thinking about what I was going to say. Okay, let's learn about something else instead.
In some areas, human activities can turn farmland into a desert, a process called desertification. Poor farming or overgrazing can destroy topsoil, so it can't recover after a drought.
Okay, so desertification. Let's ask what is desertification. 3. What is desertification? That is when poor farm, I would say over farming of an area, which turns farmland into a desert. Deserts in quotes. Right.
Natural forces like wind, water, and ice can wear away Earth's surface over time. Human activities like construction, farming, and mining cause erosion too. Erosion can have a big impact on water supply, farmland, and shorelines.
All right. So in that last picture, we kind of saw the result of erosion. The house is pretty much on the edge. I have a feeling they didn't build it on the edge of the cliff like that.
Smog from factories and vehicle emissions, sulfur and smoke from power plants, runoff of pesticides and fertilizers from farms, and garbage and human waste all cause pollution. Harmful chemicals from human activities can pollute Earth's air, water, and soil.
All right. So if we do a bad job of storing or the runoff, the result of our activities, I wasn't listening well enough. I apologize. I'm thinking about all sorts of other things rather than just making this video.
More people also means more waste. Much of what we throw away and don't recycle or reuse ends up in landfills. Growing landfills take up a lot of space and can pollute the surrounding land and water.
And this is just one reason that it's important to recycle and reuse. That is because growing landfills can pollute the surrounding area and water. Okay, a little period at the end of that. Should have had a question right there. Yada yada yada. I think when you're watching this, you're gonna be like, Mr. Tennant, this is so amazing. Thank you for making this great video. Like, I'm so appreciative because I'm learning so much. Well, that's what you should be like, hopefully. I don't know. I would probably. Anyways, back to the lesson.
In this lesson, you'll use satellite images to examine the human impact on 3 locations. Here's what you'll use. A map. You will choose a location to observe by satellite. The city of Dubai, the Aral Sea in Asia, and the mountains of West Virginia. Satellite images. You can click through the images to view each location over a number of years. Investigation information. For each location, you will get a brief description and a question. An area measurement grid. You will turn on this grid to measure the size of the city, sea, or cleared forest in the first and last year. A bar graph. Your measurements will appear in this bar graph. When you are done, you will click the camera to take a picture of your graph. You can use this scale to understand each image.
Alright, this is the real reason that I'm doing this rather than having you guys go to this and do it all yourself. Although it's fun to do it yourself. But the reason is because if you don't click through this, and I'll probably mess up and get stuck. So, okay, let's do this. Let's see if we can go on.
Describe your plan to use satellite images to examine human impact on 3 locations. Type your answer in the box, then click OK.
Alright, so how much force is getting removed? Is it wise to remove that much? I don't know. Oh, sorry. Sometimes it's wise to use what you have, you know? You wouldn't just buy food and sit it in your cabinets forever. But it's unwise to like overuse it or misuse it. Okay.
Check your plan. Did you set a goal and include these steps?
Oh, they're gonna check me.
Choose a location and view each image.
Didn't really
Use the
specify that.
measurement tool and measure the size of the city, sea, or cleared forest in the first and last image.
I kind of
Use
did that.
the data to describe how the area changed in recent years. If your plan does not include these steps, you can change it. Then click the next button to continue.
All right, let's see if I said choose a location view image. I plan to look at how much land is forest or what else? City, sea, or sea at one point in time, and then to look at how much forest or wildlife is removed. I plan to look at how much land is forest or sea in a certain location at one point in time, and then to look. So I got click the location, choose a location, use the measurement tool and measure the size of the city. I kind of said that. I plan to look at how much land, how much. So that's kind of measurements. Measurements necessary to do that. Well, quantitatively. Use the data to describe how the area changes or is used. and then to look at how much forest or wildlife is removed at a later point in time. I will then describe what I see. Describe, let's be more specific, the differences I see. Alright, I think I'm going to pause the video, you guys watching, and do a bit of this, and then just start the video at important times when I have something to say. Nah, I'm going to keep going. We're going to go. We're going for it. Oh, I clicked OK, and now I click the next arrow. Okay. You have a long
Now
science
follow
thing.
your plan to investigate human impact on 3 locations.
I'm going to do that.
Click a red circle to choose a location.
Great.
These satellite images show surface coal mines in West Virginia. Forests are dark green. In later images, new vegetation is shown in light green. Off-white areas are surface coal mines, where huge chunks of rock are removed with dynamite and machines to reach the coal. Bright lines are valley fills, where leftover rocks are piled into nearby valleys and streams. Measure how much forested land was removed between 1984 and 2009.
I wonder if the guy flying...
Click this button to turn on the area measurement grid. You can click again to turn it off.
Getting interrupted by a robot voice is very interesting.
Click the squares over the cleared areas shown in off-white. As you click each square, the area for that year will appear in this bar graph. Click the timeline to view other images through 2009. Measure the total area of the surface coal mine in 2009.
Okay, so I didn't click like this one and this one because this square and like this square have a little space that's only white, and so yeah, so it evened out because that's my hope there. All right, let's go to 2009 because that's what I need to do.
When you are done measuring the area, click here to...
Okay, I'm going to click there when I'm done measuring the area. Thank you, robots. It was an actual person recording that. Really nice of them to do that. But, yeah. It'd be like if you were trying to turn your work in and I just interrupted and be like, turn your work in, please, now. Which I totally would never do, of course. I don't know if they're including this area as well. But it is more. 8 and 16. 16 is often more than 8. Okay, what am I supposed to do now? I forget.
When you are done, click here to observe human impact on a different location.
I'm going to do that. Okay, sweet. So we got 2 more to go. Let's do it.
This satellite image shows urbanization, both on land and offshore, in Dubai. Development has soared in Dubai in recent years.
Excellent.
To expand beachfront property, the city built artificial islands along its coastline. In these infrared images, bare ground is brown, vegetation is red, and water is dark blue. Buildings and streets are light blue or gray. Use the grid to measure the area of Dubai in 2000 and 2010.
Do they want the area? I don't understand what they're asking for, to be honest. Well, let's see. Development has soared in Dubai in recent years to expand beachfront property. The city built artificial islands along its coastline. How much did the city grow? Okay, so they want to know how much did the city grow. And I think they said this is city, this is farmland. Okay. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so I got the area here.
Click the squares over the developed areas of Dubai, shown in red, blue, and gray. When you have measured the city's area in 2000 and 2010, click the camera to save a copy of your graph.
Okay. Red, blue, and gray. So I'll get that one. I'll skip this one because that one isn't filled all the way. I'll get this one. Those guys are good. Okay, I see some beachfront property here. Any others? Did they want to count the city? It says red, blue, and gray. So yeah, I'm going to count it. I don't know what, I guess that's blue? B? I don't know. Maybe they're trying to count this one. I'll count this one. All right. Let's go forward now in time and see how things change. Oh, that is a pretty cool island. I mean, maybe take better care of their stuff, but that's pretty cool. And like all of this is city now. Oh my. Okay. Let's start clicking. This is like cookie clicker, but city clicker. Anyways, so what we see here is human impact. So I would hope that in the city of Dubai and in other large cities, they're also making an effort to take care of the wildlife and area. Oh, this is why they said dark blue, because look, all of that area dark blue. I would hope that they're also making sure that the wildlife is being taken care of and thinking through how everyone's getting the water and food and other needs that they have met. Because otherwise, you end up with nature not being well cared for, and that affects a lot of animals and plants and stuff and biodiversity there. And then you end up with a lot of people not getting the things they need. So, wow, 65. Dubai grew a ton between 2000 and 2010. I did not know. This is probably like if I did this with Chicago in whenever Chicago was growing rapidly as a city. I don't know what specific years that would be. But yeah. This is why city planning is important. All right, I haven't put down a question in a while. I can't tell. I think this is city too. So I guess I gotta click on this. What question should I ask? Oh, at the end of this, I should just ask, my final 3 questions should be, how much did this city grow? How much did that coal mine grow? That's what I will do. Those will be my final 3 questions. I'm going to include all of these and assume that all of it is city. You didn't think you would watch your teacher play city clicker today, but guess what? He did, and you did. So, great job. Got them all. I don't know if that's city over there too. It might be, but I'm going to assume it's not. 153. Okay, great. Maybe they tell me the right answers at the end. That would be nice. All right, take that picture. Bam. Picture taken. Do I get to go on? Okay, I think I get to go on now. If not, it's 2053. You guys remember. Okay. It's a very long video.
This satellite image shows the Aral Sea in Central Asia.
Great.
In the 1960s, rivers that fed the lake were diverted to turn nearby deserts into farmland to grow cotton and other crops.
Oh no.
The lake dried up
Actually, no,
and
for
became
real.
saltier, affecting local fisheries, farms, and even the weather. The black line shows the original coastline in 1960.
Oh
the
my.
sea is shown in green, the desert in tan,
Wow.
and salty sediment in white. Use the grid to measure the area of the sea in 2000 and 2010.
I will do that.
Click the squares over the sea. When you have measured the sea's area in 2000 and 2010, click the camera to save a copy of your graph.
I'll do that. Now I'm playing C Clicker. Pretty fun stuff. You guys can also do this. I think I'll leave the link on there if I remember. But disclaimer, you don't have to do it. Because the important thing is that you get to see human impacts on these different places rather than the important thing being that you clicked all of these little squares. So that is the important thing. I left some of these because some of these, yeah, you have already talked about that. Anyhow, okay. So 2008, I'm assuming it's going to get a lot. Whoa! Yeah, a lot less. Right? They're not farming much with that amount of water. Okay. Get all these spaces. Get this space, this space. Oh, thought it could get away. Get that one, get that one. Okay, great. So now I'm looking at 20,000 versus 8,125. square kilometers. Oh, squared. Look at that, guys. All about that area in math. Okay, take that picture. Okay, great. I took the picture. I think I'm ready to go on.
Look at the bar graphs of the areas you measured. Choose one location and describe how it changed between the first and last satellite image. What do you think one positive and one negative outcome of this change might be?
All right. Area of Dubai. I'm going to choose. That one will actually be hard to describe positive. I'm going to do cleared forest area. Okay. Negative. Negative. I chose. What is this place called? I forget where the cleared forest area was. I forget the location. You can watch the video and tell me. Cleared forest area. Negative. Start there. Negative. Habitats for wildlife. If Tanner could type and spell at the same time, that would be a miracle. No, not halibuts. Habitats. Habitats for wildlife decreased. Period. Positive. Coal was mined for humans to stay warm and power energy plants. I'm assuming that the coal was used for one or both of those. Okay, so I'm talking clearly about this graph over here. I think it was somewhere in the US. I think this was in Dubai. No, this is in Dubai. And this one is that sea that we just saw. But I chose to do this one instead. So let's go and ask that question. I guess it'll be the final question. Really exciting here, guys. What was a negative and positive of the coal mines? Question mark. And then specifically the one in the lesson. Come on, give me some text color. Thank you. And then you can just put down the negative and positive. But since I typed it, I'm just going to copy and paste. Because that's the kind of person I happen to be. I don't need to free up storage. I'm good. I've taken a really long video, that's why. All right, those are our 5 questions. Let's end this. So, ignore and move on? No, I don't want. You have, I haven't clicked OK. Click OK.
Here are some valid conclusions. The coal mines of West Virginia supplied fuel, but disturbed rivers and valleys. Development in Dubai provided beachfront property, but led to more pollution and use of resources. Diverted rivers near the Aral Sea watered crops, but the shrinking sea hurt the local ecosystems. If you want, you can revise your conclusion now. Click OK when you are done.
I'm just going to put a period and click OK. Actually, I still have it. It's the BAM. West Virginia. That's where the coal mines were. I did that. Yep. So if you were to do this, this is what you would do. But you could put that on the slide.
Hydroelectric energy uses moving water to generate electricity. Hydroelectricity requires large dams.
Oh. Glossary. I don't need that right now. Oh, cool. I know there's a glossary. That's pretty cool. Okay. I wanted them to let me just type the answer in. So those hydroelectric dams, they go ahead and they power cities, but they can also change the way water is fed to outlying farms and stuff. I believe it's like I forget the name. There's a place in the U.S. that really had a problem with that. I forget the name. It's like the Red Lake or something. I don't know. Anyhow. Oh, they're talking and I can't hear them because I turned them off.
A large impact on an area's environment. Deforestation, pollution, and desertification are a few ways that human activities can harm the environment. Humans are looking for ways to reduce their impact on the environment and protect its natural resources. Click this button to see your lab report. You can save it or print it out.
So a long time ago, when this was first made, I thought we would just save this printed out lab report, but we're not going to. And then I could see as a teacher that you had spent time doing all the things. But now you can just see as a student that your teacher spent time doing all these things. And then you know what you can do? Except I accidentally skipped this one. We talked about it a little bit. And then you know what you can do? You can go back and you can go ahead and, what is this? Notes? I don't take any notes. I should, but I didn't. You can answer these questions right here. Let's make them larger. Give a little more room. All right, there are all the answers. You can see them now, but I'm going to erase them. And thank you for watching this lab. We are 10 out of 10. I hope that you have an awesome Monday.